Like I said, we're working our way through this list of 5 things to watch for in training camp. We hit the first 4, the secondary, the depth on both lines, the kicking position, and second-year players. The 5th thing and final thing on Tim Twentyman's list on DetroitLions.com is Jamo's development. Jamison Williams, there has been a ton of hype about Jamo's development. And they are excited about what he can be. I feel like we finally get full-time Jamo. The first year he was coming back from a torn ACL, spot duty late in the year. The second year he had the gambling suspension and was still kind of getting up to speed. Now it's here. Now it's Jamo's time. Third-year player, ton of promise. And you know what I like most about him? He seemed more than willing to do the other stuff that makes you a complete football player. We're talking about blocking downfield, leading the way on long runs, and the social media presence made some people uncomfortable and got some attention for him. But ultimately, he looks like the kind of guy, if you are willing as a wide receiver to do that other stuff, it seems like, well, if you're going to block, certainly you're going to do everything you can to catch the ball. That's the fun part. And Jamison Williams, we have seen flashes of something that looks like it could be pretty special. Like the reverse for a touchdown against San Francisco in the NFC title.
Yeah, we've all felt the same. We just get the ball in his hands and see what he can do, but they needed him to be good enough to see the field where they get the ball in his hands. They needed to trust him, and he had to earn that trust through practices, and then once you're in the game, you got to earn it in the game and do those things. So by doing all those little things, I feel like the last few games of the season, that's where that trust really paid off. And then in the championship game, he was great.
Mm-hmm.
He really was. But like from that the game against the Chargers on, he was a guy making that mark, and you could see it on the field where there were different routes run to him. Before it was maybe he just streaked down the field and being used as a decoy. But as the season went on, he started doing drag routes across the field, and there was some mistiming there, and then they got the timing down, and then look out, able to break through. And I'm excited about what he can become because it does sound like he's ascending rather than just, walking flat or descending. He's off to a pretty good start in the offseason compared, at least from what people are telling us. We haven't seen it personally, and it's not going to matter until you actually get into a game of what we're going to see. But there was the video of this perfect pass thrown by Jared Goff that hits him right in stride on the sideline that only Jamison Williams would be able to catch it.
From OTAs?
Yeah.
Yep.
It was a great pass and a great catch, and I can't wait to see that done in a regular season game.
Well, the speed, fans love. I don't care what sports you're talking about. Fans love great speed. They get really super excited about Andreas Athanasiou or Quentin Berry or guys who have ceilings on what they can be, but if they're fast, we'll take calls and people get so fired up. Jamison Williams is not the next Andreas Athanasiou or Quentin Berry. Jamison Williams has a chance to be a massive difference maker in the NFL. And it's not a requirement, okay, that he's great, because I think Khalif Raymond can play the Josh Reynolds role, but it'd be a lot better for them if Jamison Williams played the Josh Reynolds role and then some. And I don't know that Khalif Raymond's got a lot of then some. I think he can play the Josh Reynolds role, and I think he's well respected. But Jamison Williams can be Josh Reynolds and more.
Jamison Williams is expected to be Jamison Williams, which is a first-round pick. Guy is selected halfway through the first round. There's a lot that comes with that. And it's not like your ceiling is not Josh Reynolds. That's not the ceiling.
No.
It's got to be way higher than that. Look at Amon-Ra St. Brown, what he's done. He wasn't looking at his ceiling as being a third-round pick or a fourth-round pick. He upped the ante, wore a chip on his shoulder as big as can be, continues to shine that thing up every day, and now he's one of the top 5 receivers in football.
And if Jamison Williams doesn't necessarily blossom this year, are they going to be okay at wide receiver? Then all of a sudden a lot falls on the shoulders of Khalif Raymond. A lot falls on the shoulders of maybe I mean,
DPJ.
it could be DPJ. It could be Antoine Green. It could be the kid that they signed from, his name completely escapes me, the Traquan Smith, the kid they signed for New Orleans.
I'll tell you who it really falls on. Brad Holmes.
Yeah.
If it's not working out, then you have to find somebody by the trade deadline.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, all the thoughts are going to be, well, with next year's draft, maybe they're going to have to go to a receiver again in the first round. But hopefully it never gets to that point. I think I saw enough out of Jameson Williams at the end of the season last year that tells me this is going to be a breakout year.